What's up, my people? What's up, Walimwengu? Niaje? It's been a while. It's been a while. But after taking some time off to learn, accumulate, assimilate, I'm back. Unfortunately, we do not have Ulimwengu podcast anymore. Well, I can say unfortunately or fortunately. I started Ulimwengu as an experiment. It was at a point in life when I felt like I had a lot to share because there was a lot I'm learning, or I was learning. And the first 2 episodes were an experience in itself. But then life hit me very, very hard. And we will get to that part because I will not leave out anything. I will make sure to talk about everything that's been going on as of the past couple of years. All the lessons, all the experiences. And I will make sure to share as much as I can in the case that it will open someone else's mind up. Or perhaps in the case that it will be the light for someone else to see that there's always going to be a rainbow after a dark storm. Best way said. So welcome to Navigating Nuances. Hopefully we all know what the meaning of navigating is, but nuances are subtle differences in meanings, expressions, sounds, and just simply the way that we think about certain things. In Swahili, we have a saying that says, asiyefunzwa na mama yake hufunzwa na ulimwengu, which if I should translate quick terms would mean a child that will not learn from their mother will learn from the society that they live in. And growing up, I'm one that truly came to see that a lot of the things that we learn in life, the lessons that stick with us, are the ones that we learn from people. It's either going to be you watching someone else live their life, you hearing their story, or you seeing your life and matching it up to someone else's. Whatever case might be, we learn a lot from the way that other people live their lives. And I think that is the best way to learn. Now again, in Tanzania we have another saying that directly means that the biggest lessons that a human being will have in their lives are the lessons that they will learn through experience. So it's quite humbling. My own father once upon a time told me that, I'm quoting him, everybody has a talent. And talent in Swahili is talanta. So he told me, kila mtu ana talanta yake, which means everybody has their own talent. And he told me, unfortunately, people mistake or fail to see that going to school is also a talent. He said you have to have a talent for education to be able to start it and be interested enough in it to finish it. But you also have to have the interest. And then he went far enough to tell me, you can have the knowledge of school. You can be very, very bright and smart when it comes to school and grades and papers and all that. But then you can also have the talent of the streets. The street talent is what he called it. And he told me, but school can never teach you as much as the streets can teach you. Because in the streets you have to learn how to survive. And I took that from the day that he told me and held it with me. Which then led me to have the strength and the courage to go places and do things, and always have it in the back of my mind that it's the streets that will teach me how to survive. But I never forgot that the talent that I had for school was also existent. I think I have a passion for education. It's something that I had to grow into, because where I come from, my parents don't have the highest level of education. So we don't have a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, the typical African mind mentality of what a child is supposed to be when it comes to education. That's not what we had. So I knew that I would make myself proud, and my mother proud, my parents, even my sister, if I would be able to fight. And fighting means you can be the lowest in the class, but as long as it's a pass, you did that. Fighting means no matter how many times I will fail this, I will do it again. And I will do it again and again and again. And I'm not going to lie, I got to a lot of points in life when I almost gave up. But to wrap up the beginning of this podcast is, that's where I've been. Where I have been is, I have been on the road of experiencing life through learning. I've also been doing a lot of education. And I thank God for the gift of life. I thank God for how far I've come. No, we did not study to be an engineer or a doctor. But unlike my parents, I hold a bachelor's degree and currently am working to get a master's. And both of them were a passion. But there are greater goals in life that I still have to fight to get to. And I was planning to finish all that before I took podcasting seriously. But I came to realize perhaps it's better for me to start now. So as I'm figuring things out, perhaps there's someone else out there that will also be figuring things out the same way. And perhaps I can help them and push them, or give them a little bit of force to keep fighting. Right? It is very important for all of us to remember to be very kind to one another. I mean, once you leave your house and you see people, whoever you meet, it's always very important to remember to be kind. Because we never know the battles that people are fighting in their lives. We never know what people are going through. We never know. And that morning that you meet somebody, that afternoon, that evening, when you see them, you don't know if they're feeling like they're in the beginning of their line or their end. So the best you can do is be as kind as possible and give a lot of grace to people. Starting from that point, I myself can say that I needed a lot of kindness from people at one point. And during that point, I did have a lot of people around me. But over time, I lost a lot of people. And that's one of the lessons that I want to leave today. One of the lessons that I learned over the past couple of years is that you will meet people, and most of the time people have a purpose in your life. And once their purpose is completed, they're either going to stay in your life, or you're going to have to learn the hard lesson of letting go. Now, I remember when I made my first podcast, which I promise I will have the link of on the bio next to our new podcast channel, just so people can go back and listen to the content that was in there. When I made that, I spoke very heavily about losing friends being more painful than a heartbreak that you could experience with a with your significant other, whether it's a man or woman. But I was very keen to make sure that people knew, for me, losing a friend was more painful than losing a boyfriend or a partner. And that's only because I value my friends a lot. But as I said, over the years, I had to learn that people have a purpose in your life. And once their purpose has been fulfilled, they will either stay and it will be a story. You guys will be in each other's lives for a very long time, or you will have to learn the art of letting go. And that right there is one of the most painful things to experience. Painful experiences, painful feelings, painful thoughts, memories, everything will be very painful. But you will have to learn how to let go. I say that to say a lot of things have been consuming me. I've let a lot of things consume me. And the major part of my experiences as of the past couple of years, aside from the educational part of things, was the experiences that I had with friendships and most importantly with relationships that I had with male figures in my life. Now, as this is the first episode, we're going to be diving into things little by little. But I would love to start with my experiences, or experiences that I had with male figures in my life. And to begin with, I would like to say that I've always been the friend that told my friends, "What are you still doing with that man?" I'll be saying, "He done a lot of things to you that you should have walked out of there a long time ago." Now, the funny part is that every single time I told my friend what to do, or how easy it must have sounded to me, my friend would always come back to me and tell me, "If it was that easy, I would have done it already." And once again, it's over time that you come to learn. And I came to learn that your friends will not be as gracious, because they come from a background where they just care a lot about you, and they don't want you to be going through things that they know are hurting you. With that being said, every episode now moving forward will be highlighting an experience that I had with a manly figure in my life. And perhaps that will have to start with a little bit of background of the first male figure in my life, which was my father. And from there we'll move on to all the crazy stories and all the crazy experiences, or maybe crazy is an underestimation. But I would say every experience that I've had and what I've learned. And I will tell it as a story time. So make sure to have enough time. Make sure to have a little snack. You will need it. But most of all, make sure that you open up your mind to not look at me as a therapist, to not look at me as somebody that knows better, to not look at me as an advisor, but to just listen to the story and learn. Listen to the experience and learn from it. Open up your mind enough to understand that when you hear something from somebody, then you can take the most important things and leave the rest exactly where you found them. I'm so excited for this new chapter. I'm so excited for the coming episodes. I'm so excited to hear back from anybody that will be listening to the podcasts. And I'm so excited to share. But most importantly, I'm excited to know that I am still standing. I'm still here. I'm still learning. I'm still fighting. And I'm very blessed to still be here because we've lost a lot of soldiers on the way. With that being said, thank you so much for tuning in for the first episode. And I look forward to having you back on the next one. Remember to be kind, to be generous, but always have a limit. Until next time.